It's a Chundria. Go, 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 Chundria. Chundria. It's a Chundria. Go, go.
But I wanna be alright. So let me cry, oh let me cry, only tonight. Nobody knows how I feel.
JamiiLA, you made it to the Chundria
Yes.
show. I'm excited. How are you today?
I'm good.
You're good?
Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
tell me about yourself and where you're from.
I'm from Japan to personal music career.
Yeah. How long have you been in LA?
3 years.
3 years from Japan to
Yes,
LA?
yes.
Wow, good for you.
Thank you.
So how long have you been into music?
Almost, I think, 10 years.
10 years?
Yes.
So you were over in Japan singing
Yes.
your life away, and
Yes.
then you were like, you know what? I need to go to
Yes.
LA. So why you picked LA? You just felt like this was the best place for you, or?
Yes, long time ago, I met a singer, and he's from LA. So I respect him, so I want him to teach me. So that's why I came here.
Oh, wow, 3 years. Good for you. Okay. So how long have you been performing? You said you started 10 years ago in Japan.
Yes.
So were you performing, was that in college or in school? Or
No, I
you just woke up one day and said, you know what, this is what I want
Yes,
to do. So
yeah.
who are your inspirations musically?
Lauryn Hill.
Okay,
Yeah.
good choice. Okay.
Yeah, I watched the movie Sister Act 2.
Uh-huh.
And oh my gosh, she's amazing. And then I met gospel, and the gospel music really inspired me a lot. So then I have to sing.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you have a lot of soul in your music.
Oh, thank
you do.
you so
really sing with a lot of soul,
much.
and I love that. And I remember seeing your video online, and I'm
Oh.
like, wow, that's how we got here today. So,
Oh, thank you.
so we wanna shout out Bryant.
yes.
That's who I saw, your manager, and I think that you're doing an amazing
Yes.
job. So, okay, so you have a new single, "Let Me Cry,"
Yes.
and what's that song about?
This song, it's kind of heartbroken, but it's not sad song. It's a positive song. So, but I want to cry tonight, but I want to move on.
Oh.
So, but let me cry only tonight. Like,
And then I'm gonna move on from
Yes,
it. So,
move on,
so that like that last cry, right?
Yes.
Did you write the song yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Did you write it in Japan or you wrote it
In
Houston?
Japan.
Oh wow! You brought it to the States and that's your single. That is so exciting. Aside from your single, what else are you working on next? What's next for you?
I'm going to release my new song. So maybe next month or
Okay. What's that one called?
Put Your Phone Away.
Put your
No
phone away.
way.
Is this for the guy? Like put your phone away like that? It's like
Yeah.
you're singing it to a man.
And a lot of people say, put your phone away because I want you to focus on.
On me.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds like a little sexy.
But the song is not sexy.
Oh, it's
though.
not. Like, no,
kinda
no, it's not
funny.
that. It's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Any shows or anything coming up for you?
I think I'm going to perform next month, but I don't know the details.
Okay.
Yet, so.
Well, then how can we stay in contact with you and what you're doing? How can we keep up with your upcoming shows, your upcoming events? your new
Okay. I have an
singles?
Instagram and Facebook. So
Instagram and Facebook. Just search for JamiiLA.
JamiiLA, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
And I like how the LA is in caps. Did you
Yes,
see that?
I
It's so cool.
Japan and
Yeah.
LA.
That is so
Yeah.
cool. You're cool.
Let me cry, oh let me cry, only tonight. I feel lonely, I feel sad, but I wanna be alright. So let me cry, oh let me cry, only tonight. So let me cry, oh let me cry, only tonight.
It's a great day today on the Chundria Show, and I'm excited about my two guests, Leilani Chavez and Kat Branchman. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Ladies are dynamic. I've been following you on social media for a while now, and I love what you're doing. I love the topics that you guys are choosing to speak out on and your event. So I thought it'd be great to have you come in the studio today and talk about relationships.
Yes.
Which I feel like we all know too well, and sometimes I know enough of.
Yeah, exactly.
So before we start, introduce yourselves and tell me what you do here in LA.
Okay, so I'm Leilani Ford Chavez. I am a relationship coach. And so I'm working on a couple of different projects, but for the most part, I spend time helping couples communicate. I also work with parents and teens to help them communicate because, you know, teens can be a challenging group. And so I have over 10 years of experience with working with youth. And so I'm very much a youth advocate, and so I always come from that vantage point. While I do help the parents see the youth side, I also want the youth to hear from their parents and understand the heart behind the instruction that usually causes the conflict. So relationships such as marriages, engagements, you know, and just romantic partners as well as parents and teens.
Oh, so you cover all dynamics.
Yes.
Busy woman, huh?
Trying to get some time for myself, right?
I am a transformational mindset coach. I have been life coaching. It feels like all my life. When you do what you are made to do, you kind of find a pattern no matter what job you're at. Went to school, undergrad, master's degree, and therapy traditionally just wasn't for me. Had the amazing opportunity to lose over 100 pounds, which kind of launched my YouTube channel. And from there, I noticed that life coaching free wasn't probably the best way to build a business. So inevitably I decided, okay, let me make this a lifestyle and quit my job. And so I work with individuals. Normally, even if it's a couple, I like to start with the person first and work on their mindset, the ideologies, the narratives they tell themselves, as well as a little humor. It's crazy, I do a lot of stuff. So I do comedy on the side. So a lot of times our sessions are very colorful, little tears, a little crying, and definitely really passionate about changing the lives of people. And our business together works amazing because she sees things that I don't see, and then I see things she doesn't see, and we're like hitting everybody in the room. So we've been able to build individual businesses as well as a collective one. That's been pretty successful.
You guys are amazing. So how did you two meet and decide that you?
Oh, wow.
We had that much time.
No, seriously, right?
We met, the story we like to tell, the pretty story is we met at church. A lot of people thought my daughter was her daughter. So people were asking, like, where's your daughter? And I'm like, who's this lady? Y'all, this is my child.
Yes.
You know? Friendship grew, and it really was like a sisterhood.
Yeah.
The dirty version is I wanted to be her friend, and she was running. And
Listen, we don't got that kind of time, but the reason why is because I knew she was gonna go and take off, and I was like, you're gonna make me love you and your family, and then you're gonna be busy, and I can't have exactly. And she moved,
and it really
moved to
happened. I moved to a
Alabama.
whole other state. It was crazy. We were,
Don't get us
on the
started.
phone as grown women for like hours. And it was like, I think I really like this.
Yeah.
So moved back. And
Right.
so the business came because we were doing stuff together, and people were like, you guys are really talented.
Yeah.
And so living in LA, you see a lot of people living their dream out. And so you actually said, well, why not us? And so nowadays, between YouTube, the internet, you kind of figure out a way to put it together. And so the business has really blossomed because it's a real friendship.
Yeah.
It's a good foundation.
So ideally, what services are you offering your clients?
So for me, life coaching as well as health and fitness. My husband's actually a personal trainer. So we're in the midst of wanting
Putting everybody to work.
Yeah.
Come on,
Whole family.
Oh, the
Whole
kids
family.
too. The
Yes.
kids actually just got a modeling contract.
Yes.
I signed up with the agency, and then they saw something with my kids, and so they're like, well, bring them down. Let's talk to them. So we got everybody working.
Yes.
But so life coaching as well as that hosting. I host events. I do speaking engagements, and also I do strategy consult work. So if it's maybe how to team build, how to help problem solve within a business or a certain department. What girl, we do it all.
Yeah.
We do it all.
Everything. One star.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I love it. Well, keep up the amazing work. My goodness. All right. Well, let's got some time for some relationship questions.
Absolutely.
I know you're in the business of helping people.
Yes.
Everybody
Yes.
needs help. So I have two Ask Chundria questions. The first one I'll read.
Okay.
Dear Chundria, I am engaged to the woman of my dreams. She is funny, smart, ambitious, and an entrepreneur, and has had my back through some really tough times. My family and friends just adore her too, but recently she dropped the bomb on me saying she didn't want to have children because she doesn't want her business to suffer. When I suggested that we wait some years, she confirmed that she will not change her mind. I'm mad and hurt that she doesn't want to start our family. Am I wrong to call off the engagement?
That's a heavy one. That's
Okay.
loaded because you're talking about building a connection with someone and finding someone that you actually care enough about, that you do want to build a legacy with, you know, getting engaged and getting married. And so, you know, oftentimes people are like, what? They don't want to do that. You got to break up, you know. And for me, the type of relationship coach that I am, I really want to deal with what people are actually telling themselves, kind of a little bit like what you said, but really I would want to talk to his fiance and ask what's really behind that, because just a personal story, I grew up saying I didn't want kids.
Wow.
But really what was behind that was the fear that I might not be able to have kids. And so if that is underneath there, we need to deal with that. And it may not be that, you know, hey, I don't want it because, you know, I don't want to ruin my business, but that is what I feel safe saying. So I would want to have a session with this couple to kind of talk with them and hear what she is dealing with and what she's going through and what's really underneath that. But if that is where she stands, I just never like kids, I never want kids, that is her.
I never liked them.
Right, no, it's
Put your baby
Babe,
away.
exactly. I know. Don't bring them in here. You know, if that is where she is, that is her right. And so I would want to talk to the gentleman and actually get him to understand that for her, having a kid would be the same as him giving up having a kid. It's the same type of sacrifice. And if he can't visualize himself going through life without having kids, he needs to understand that that's how she's visualizing having kids. And one thing I know, like I said
But
earlier,
it sounds like somebody's going to be resentful, right?
and in the breakup, if they don't come to a conclusion, they might need to break up, because otherwise, yes, they're living with this resentment. And I was just going to say that, like, as a person who loves children and I'm a youth advocate, I would never tell someone who doesn't want to have kids to have kids. It's too involved. You have to give of yourself. You have to sacrifice constantly. I have a
If you're
1-year-old at
already
home.
not ready
So
to
yes,
sacrifice
exactly.
that.
You're doing it with resentment. and
1-year-old
you're-
at home?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, honey. So I'm
I
tired.
just looked
Okay.
in 2 years.
Yes, tell you. So yes, okay, so I'm saying you have to do that from a place of love and not from obligation and resentment. And so if she's coming in feeling like she has to do this for someone else, it's not going to be good for the children you bear. So I would want to have that conversation with the couple.
Just the sweet and sour aspect.
Yes, it is.
Let's just hypothetically say that, like she said, she went in, did the work, and the lady's like, no, and I'm able, I'm fertile, I say no. Run, sir. Run as fast as you can.
You say run?
I say run. Leave her alone. She told you who her child was. Her entrepreneurship, her business. I think that we spend a lot of time trying to love people into something
we want them to
what we
mold
want them to be, and that's not even real love. That's not, as a parent who has children, I would hope that they grow up and become something successful. But all I can do is love you into what is already there. The other thing is, I'm a product of a situation where my mom and father were not in the best situation, and I'm here. So there's a whole bunch of work I had to do with my therapist and my best friend and my husband, because there's a narrative in my mind about I wasn't wanted, and you know, my mama really didn't want me, but my daddy did, and I'm the reason they're not together. Like, so let's just go ahead and say thank you for the experience. Thank you for being upfront. I think that's amazing that she was able to stand boldly and say, I'm willing to let you go because I'm revealing my truth. Respect
Prior
her
to the
love,
wedding.
prior to the wedding. And my husband trying to get a third one. So when a man wants something, I have two. I have a 2-year-old and a 7. They want it, and you just gotta respect people's like, brother, run. Tell her thank you. And life is long. Yeah, for your honesty, the experience, and go find you somebody that'll have your babies.
Well, I commend you, especially because if you say you grew up with that upbringing and then now you have this amazing family, your husband, your kids.
That I hear people say, well, I didn't have a good mother or a good father growing up, so my fear is I can't do it.
Right.
And I think that's a total lie. That's a total lie. I think sometimes that's the best motivator to act right. That's the best motivator in a marriage to say, when we saw our parents crazy, let's learn how to do it different than what they did.
Absolutely.
And so, especially our age group, you know, we're considered millennials. So, you know, we're getting married, we're doing stuff that they're saying we can't do because we're too messed up. So, I mean, you got 3 married women sitting here.
Absolutely.
So, what kind of you don't listen to? So,
Right.
Awesome. Okay. Number 2. Dear Chundria, my boyfriend's ex-wife recently lost her mother, so he and their children have been spending a lot of time together during and following the funeral. I've been patient and understanding because losing a parent is hard. I wasn't snooping, but I did find a thank you card in his apartment that she gave him with a message inside that read, "I'm so glad you've been there for me and the kids. Times like these makes me wish we were a true family again. I still love you and want to try again. After a year of dating, I don't even know where to begin with this conversation or my feelings. Please help."
Yes.
All right, so listen.
Look.
If she was sitting here, I wouldn't even. Let's address the fact that you felt the need psychologically to put in this question that you weren't snooping. That lets me know. Come on.
Thank you.
That lets me
Thank
know
you.
that somewhere along the line you had warning signs going off
Yes.
anyway. Because
Yes.
you was
You were
snooping,
already
baby.
snooping.
You was snooping.
That's
You were
right.
snooping. You was
Baby,
snooping. That's okay.
Yes.
This is your intuition. I think people
Right.
read enough.
No.
You were something was not right. Something's not settled in your spirit. Okay, so having a conversation was necessary before you found that thank you card.
Yeah.
I think that has to be addressed to people because it needs to be reinforced. That listen to yourself.
Yes.
Listen to the signs.
Absolutely.
Now, once we got past her being nosy and the man, I would just tell her, you ask them.
Yeah.
Ask them. You know, from my experience, a lot of married women express a time in the relationship where they had to step away from the partner, where they were dating, fiance, where it's like, I needed time to get some stuff together, and he needed time to get some stuff together. My experience was the Lord told me to, and I didn't. I'm still chasing after my husband. You know, like, let's just date, let's just talk. He's like, let me help my mom and do some things and get some stuff in order. This does not mean, it's not indicative of them not being together.
It's not right now.
But just not right now. Maybe he needs to step away to see, like, maybe I still have love for her. The worst thing you can do is choose to have somebody stay next to you with that in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Every dinner, every
Yeah.
conversation, every Uber ride in your mind, you're like, look, he probably texting her right now. Like,
Right,
who wants to live
right,
like that?
absolutely.
So, my opinion, I would definitely tell her, have the conversation and get yourself prepared to hear him say, I think I want to take a break and be okay with it.
Figure out what I want to do.
Yeah.
Maybe I have enjoyed spending the time with the family.
Right.
Yeah, you
Right.
know. I mean, he had kids with this woman.
Come
Yes,
on, baby. The
married.
best beach couple in the
Come
world.
on, I'm saying. You don't know the history, and so
Right.
if they were together, let's say 5 years, it's gonna take 5 to really get that person out your system.
Right.
You don't get to take 5 weeks and be over somebody, and you got kids with them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So.
Girl, you got one.
Right, no, I see, I'm like, bring it down. No, I would jump on that and say, even if you do have the conversation and he says, nah, it's nothing, trust the intuition.
There you go.
I think what we women have is a gift, that women's intuition. We know in our gut that something's up. You know, even just, I agree with you. When I heard that, I was like, baby girl,
Listen.
I wasn't snooping or nothing. Like, yes, you
I
were.
just found
No,
it.
you were.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. And why do you feel reluctant to bring it up if it was
Right.
just sitting on the dresser,
Yeah.
right? So you knew you had to go through the shoebox under the bed, and so
Right.
you're like, how
Open
can I
it- open
explain?
up the hidden
Exactly, like
compartment, all behind the bookshelf,
yes,
found the letter.
right. So now you got to explain how you know this. So that
why
makes
you can't
it.
tell them
Yes,
that.
exactly. That's why you're a little reluctant.
I don't even know where to begin.
Right, exactly. But I think that, you know, having the conversation, I think being willing to let go, absolutely. Sometimes you have to let go of good to make room for God and what He's doing in your life. That's my personal testimony. I was in a relationship for 8 years. And God was like, that's not it. And I was like, okay, God.
sure? Right.
Come on, somebody. So I was like, bring me the good one, and then I'll let this one go. And God's like, I don't work like that. You know, any righteous man is not going to be your part-time lover. So if you want a righteous man, you want a husband, you can't have this other guy on the side. And so being willing to let things go, to say, I trust God that He's going to bring what is for me, you know? And it may be that person, like she said, just need some time, you know? Also just checking where the alliance is, because if he has priority to this woman saying, this is my family and I always have to be there, are you okay playing second to an ex-wife, to his baby mama, you know, like to other people, right? You gotta talk about that. But people get into relationships and they're like, oh, okay, they play it while they're dating, but then you're creating a pattern.
That's right.
And so when you get into this newfound role that like, oh, I'm now his wife, why am I still playing second to baby mama? It's because you
always were.
established the pattern.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to break the pattern. So yeah, girl, we can talk all
no,
day
no,
about
we
it.
And that's the situation where it's like you open up something in the refrigerator and smell it, and it's like, I think this bad. You wouldn't eat that. You know, you would throw it away, you wouldn't take the risk. But look at the risk we take with our lives. Like we're just so
with our
careless.
hearts.
Yeah, with our hearts. Like to say, well, what do you think? No, girl, what you think?
Yeah.
Like, well, what do you think you should do? So
Just to be so patient and understanding when you you know it doesn't resonate well with you.
Right.
Like,
And you're
okay, you going back over there? Okay.
Right, exactly.
You losing
Okay, y'all doing a
peace.
movie night?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
It is.
so-
It's a lot.
Well, I want to thank you, ladies, for your time
Thank
today.
you.
Being
Thank
guests on my
you.
show,
Thank
you're all
you.
phenomenal. I would love to
Yes.
have you back on the show.
Thank you.
Hello, hello. I am excited to have Justin Key here talking about how to live your best life. Justin, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Awesome. Thank you so
Cool,
much. You
cool.
brought this book, your latest book, Mind Control, Change the Way You Think So You Can Live a Limitless Life. Tell me about
Yes.
that book and why you wrote it.
So the book serves two premises. So there's a spiritual premise and a non-spiritual premise. So the non-spiritual premise is, instead of thinking outside of the box, get rid of the box altogether. The spiritual premise is never put limits on the grace that's on your life. We always say that, you know, we're made in, what the Bible says, we're made in the image of God, yet we tend to put limits on that. And it's like, if the God created the entire universe and we're made in his image, why should we limit what we can do, what we can think, what we can achieve?
Wow. And how long ago did you write it? And I know you just released it, but how long ago?
Yes, so I wrote the book in 2016.
Oh, wow.
I sat on it for a while. And interesting, you know, I was terrified. I don't know what it feels like to have a kid, but it was almost like I had a baby and I was protecting it. And I received an inbox message on Facebook from a young lady. She was like, Justin, I don't know you personally, but I've been friends with you on Facebook. And she was like, I think you should really have a book for your brand.
Wow,
And
you don't know this woman.
No. And she was like, and I'm not trying to get work because I'm a book editor. She's like, but I
But
follow
I mean,
you.
I will take the work though.
Exactly. And so I didn't even respond to her. I found her email address on LinkedIn and I sent her the manuscript and said, send me an invoice. And so I felt that was God saying, you sat on it too long, get to work. I grew up on a farm. I'm a farm kid.
It's like a small rural town
Yes.
in Tennessee.
In Tennessee.
Who did you write it for? When you initially wrote it back in 2016, who did you have in mind? You were typing those pages.
I wrote the book for those that have dreams but that are afraid to tell people about them because no one else has done it. And it's for those, I wrote it for those who know that they don't fit into someone else's blueprint and that they really have to create their own.
Beautiful. Beautiful. You
Thank
speak
you.
about a formula for success. What's this formula? How can everybody apply it to reach their maximum potential?
The base variable for the formula for success is your foundation, your center. How do you center yourself and how do you take care of yourself? For an example, mine is meditation. It has changed my entire life. And with meditation, you learn how to correct yourself. Like I grew up in the church, and so we were taught to pray, but I had no idea meditation was actually sitting down and listening for God to speak. And so you would always pray and then get up and leave, and then the Holy Spirit would be like, hey, wait, I'm trying to tell you what you just asked for. And so just sitting down and centering myself. And I always say, you should be able to correct yourself first. And then if you aren't able to correct yourself or something kind of, you know, maybe a trait gets away from you, then your tribe, and that's the next formula, your tribe of friends. Mm-hmm. These are the people who are there for you, who are able to correct you without insulting your character, and who won't treat you any differently, and who are ride or die for you. And so I am fortunate to say that I have the most solidified tribe, and they are the most incredible people in the world who will call me out, who will love me, who will take me out, know that I'm an introvert, but still invite me because I feel like I need to be invited, even though I may not come, knowing that I go to bed every night between 8:30 and 9:30, that I'm up every morning at 4:30, but still invite me out, saying you're still coming out, and provide me with opportunities, and I give back to them just like they give back to me, and I'm friends with their family as well. And then so centering yourself, having that foundational center, then having a tribe of friends who are there for you to bounce ideas off, who will help you reach your maximum potential. And the next formula is giving back. And that's the last component. We're not here for ourselves. And I always say something that I wrote in the book is that when you realize that your purpose is directly connected to you fulfilling your purpose is directly connected to other people fulfilling theirs, then you won't give up. Because it's not about us. No matter what you think, no matter how much woe is me, you may meet someone down the line who's going through that exact same thing that may not be as strong as you to be able to overcome it. And that's when you step in. And it's everything that happens to us is not necessarily all about us, it's about other people as well. So coming here, it was different. Like, I'm a hugger because everyone's, you know, that's disrespectful in the South if you don't hug, if you don't speak to everyone. And here it was just like, whoa,
like, whoa, why are you hugging? Why are you
exactly,
smiling so much?
Exactly. And I'm a genuinely nerdy, happy Southern guy. So then I had to learn how to behave in certain settings. Like, not everyone is as nice, or not everyone is as welcoming. So that was difficult, having to readjust my personality to Hollywood. I think that was the most difficult, because you're taught so long, be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. When you realize the industry doesn't necessarily care about, you know, you being yourself in that particular moment.
How far do you feel like you changed from who you originally were?
I still have my foundation, like the foundation of being true to myself has never changed, but the way that I go by doing business, whether or not luckily I'm in a position where I don't have to accept jobs for the money or anything like that. But I had to adjust doing how I do business. I can't do business with you just because I like you. Like, that's a thing in the South. Like, oh, I like him to do business with you, son. And, you know, you come from a good stock. But now it's like, no, is it going to benefit my brand? Am I helping anyone else? Are we both being benefited from this particular pursuit? And so I just had to change my business tactics. Yeah.
I found out you were 8 of 9 children growing up in the South. Oh my gosh. Well, and how do you feel like that's helped you in the business today, being from such a large family?
Growing up as the 8th of 9 kids, it was
busy,
interesting.
Crowded.
All of the above, because originally we started off in a 2-bedroom trailer. So the boys had the room, my mom had one room, and the girls slept in the living room. And so it taught us about, for me, especially growing up on the farm with that many siblings, like, we got up when the roosters crowed. Like, they crowed right outside the window, because we grew up on a farm. So as soon as sunrise hit, the roosters crowing, which means that I had to immediately get up to slop the hogs before the bus came to go to school in the morning. So I still have that same schedule now. Like,
Wake
I'm
up
up.
with the crocodile now?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I had even in undergrad, I had all morning classes, even though you're told, stay at Dome, you're not gonna do that. It was like, no.
Everybody's dreading their morning classes, and you're up right now.
I'm up in calculus at 9 a.m. So, but then growing up with family, different opinions, because you hear many different opinions in Hollywood, work ethic, you have to eat. You're not just taking care of yourself, but you're taking care of everyone. So I really got that, growing up being the 8th of 9, that work ethic, knowing how to deal with different people and different personalities, and knowing how to share. It was definitely preparation for Hollywood.
You're absolutely right. I'm really proud of this project, this book. You did it.
Thank you.
And you're going to continue to inspire others all over the world.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, this is your copy, signed, sealed, and delivered.
Yay! I'm excited to read this. Thank you so much. I love
you.
it. Thank you so much. This is awesome. Well, thank you for your time today. I wish you the continued success on your future endeavors, and we'll be all here to watch.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Visit us online at chundriashow.com.
She looks Chundria.